Hello and welcome to the Covert Nerd Podcast. Thank you for listening. I appreciate the time that you give me. It means a lot that you take time out of your day to listen to what I have to say. Today's episode is a little different. Got to sit down with Deqlan and Ruth and talk about all things retro and the things that their parents liked and why they like it as kids, even though it's 30 years old. It was a great time. We were at Grand Con, and so we decided to record in our hotel room. So the sound is okay, but the content is fantastic. We also want to mention that I will be at a mini-con in Lincoln June 1st at Rainbow Comics, and I'll include a link in the show notes. For this link and all the other links that we talk about in this episode, go to covertnerd.net and check out the Facebook link for the mini-con. It'll be a great time with me and several other creators, both podcasts and artists and the like. It'll be awesome. So check it out and attend if you can. And now let's get to the episode. All right, guys, got a different type of podcast episode today. We've got the kids of Retro Dads on today, and I'm going to be here with my daughter, Ruth. Say hi, Ruth.
Hi, I'm Ruth.
You're 18.
Yeah.
And then we've also got, I'll let Deqlan introduce himself real quick.
I'm Deqlan.
And you've got your own podcast, right?
Yes, so not to be plugging myself in too much or whatever.
That's what we're here for.
Yeah, so I run my own podcast with two of my brothers called Starformers. So yeah, you can find us on Podbean, just like pretty much everything else.
Star Wars, Transformers centered.
Star Wars, Transformers centered.
And then you've also got, you do artwork.
Oh yeah, so
plug that.
Yeah, Deqlan James Studios. So that's kind of the main thing that's going on with me right now. So
I'll put some links in the show notes so that you as a listener can go check out his artwork, check out the podcast, and go from there. But today we're going to talk about all things retro. So I find it interesting that my kids like some of the older stuff from the 80s and 90s, and then we find other kids as well. In fact, I just talked to one last week that I think he's 17, and he's like, "You like the 80s stuff too?" And and he's like, "I love the 80s stuff, the Transformers, G.I. Joe," and he just thought it was so cool. And so him and I just talked for probably a half hour about retro stuff. And then we found out, Jeff, your dad, talked to him and how you're into that as well. So I just wanted to talk about what you like from the 80s, early 90s, and why, and just talk about it, some memories from that. So let's let Ruth go first with maybe her first pick, and we can talk about that one and go from there. So what did you pick first, Ruth?
I picked Karate Kid.
Yes.
The original Karate Kid. None
of the remakes.
No remakes, none of that.
Nice.
We're not dealing with that. So the Karate Kid that was made in 1984.
Yes.
A lot of things, it's so great. I've watched that movie so many times, and I keep finding things I love about it.
You just watched it yesterday.
Yeah, I just watched it yesterday because I'm like, I need to watch it one more time,
Have you watched it, Deqlan?
Oh yeah, I've seen it quite a few times.
So
I can watch it all day long.
Yeah,
okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
See?
Thank you.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
It's definitely a product of the 80s, though, which that's what makes it great.
It's aged.
I think that's why I like it so much, though. All the clothes and the
cars,
music.
the
The cars.
Because it's just bathed in 80s.
Yeah.
So if you wanted to sum up the 80s in a movie, this would probably be it.
Oh my gosh, yes.
It's kind of campy almost.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It is now.
It is now.
Yeah.
Back then, it was like, oh, that's so cool.
I want to be that guy.
Yeah.
So for the listener, maybe if there's a listener or listeners out there that haven't seen this,
I
maybe
hope it's only a listener.
If you, the listener, haven't seen the original Karate Kid in '84, I guess, can you summarize it in maybe a few minutes?
It's pretty much about this kid who moves to, his name is Daniel LaRusso. He moves to California from New Jersey, and he goes to this new school. And he thought he made new friends, but it turns out he gets bullied by these people, and they aren't actually his friends. And so he gets bullied by these people, and he finds kind of a father figure, Mr. Miyagi.
He's the maintenance guy at the apartment.
He's the maintenance guy, and he gets in a karate tournament. So the movie's pretty much about him training for that and getting to the tournament.
Yeah, because he's going to take on his bully, and that was the deal.
Yeah, that was the deal.
He gets left alone until the tournament, and then we're going to settle it at the karate tournament.
Yeah. And I don't know, you just have to watch it, see what happens at the tournament. So
yes.
Yeah. I like that it's definitely a story about, I like how the chemistry between Daniel and Mr. Miyagi is just
a
great part of the movie.
Yeah, that's the whole, because Daniel
like,
doesn't have a father. They never really say what happens to his dad, I don't think.
Out of all 3 movies, I don't think they do.
No.
They don't talk about
They never
his
say
dad.
he ran off or he died when he was a kid.
Yeah.
It's just, he's just not there. And so Mr. Miyagi
that's what
fills
Mr. Miyagi,
fills that position.
And I think that's what makes the relationship so great because, you know, most mentors in most movies are kind of flat and don't really do anything. But with Mr. Miyagi, since he takes like a father figure role, it makes their relationship better and him as a mentor better.
Yes. And since he's from Okinawa, you kind of get this Oriental feel, sensei type feel, and and the let's see, what's the name of the gang? Or it's the Cobra Kais.
Cobra Kai.
Cobra Kais. There we go. The Cobra Kais think he's. I guess I should say spoiler. We're probably going to spoil some of this.
Yeah, it's fine.
If you haven't seen it, but
too bad.
It's 35 years old at the time of this recording. If you haven't seen it, sorry, but the Cobra Kais think he's just this dollar old man, but he
just beats them
beats
down.
the crap out of them. Taking on these punk kids.
Yeah. And also, can we talk about how many montages there are in this movie?
Now, see, that's why it's an 80s movie.
It's so great. I counted, there's 4.
4 montages.
There's the one where he's driving to California when he's on his date with Allie.
Driving to California.
That's like kind of a montage.
Oh, at the beginning. Okay,
at the beginning.
Okay, yes,
At the beginning.
yes, okay.
When he's training before the tournament, because it's like after the scene with Miyagi's past and whatever. He's like training for the tournament, and then the tournament. There's a
tournament itself. Oh yeah, you're the best.
Montage. Yeah, that's my favorite song.
Oh yeah, that one. I think the last one's the best.
You're the best.
You're the best.
Oh,
well, then they're at the mini golf.
Yeah, that's on his date.
Okay, the date.
With Allie.
Okay, yeah.
But funny thing about You're the Best Around, it wasn't actually made for Karate Kid. It was actually made for Rocky 3, which that was kind of funny. And since they chose Eye of the Tiger instead, so they offered it to Flashdance. They didn't want it either.
Wow.
So it ended up in Karate Kid, which I thought was pretty funny.
It's a little song that could.
Yeah, exactly.
Or couldn't. Didn't almost.
I think it works better in Karate Kid rather than Rocky 3.
Yeah, I feel like it kind of works for both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny that the song nobody wanted it.
Yeah,
finally,
and then
we'll take it. We'll just take it.
He
It's
got
okay.
it. But it's kind of funny. I watched this movie about last year sometime.
Oh, yeah, is that when you first saw it?
Yeah, that's when I first saw it. I first saw it randomly, like in a hotel room. I don't even know what I was doing, but I was like, "Oh, we should watch Karate Kid." Little did I know that was going to be my favorite. Yeah, that was going to be my favorite movie.
So it's only about a year, and you've watched it probably 30 times.
Yeah, I watched it too many times. And it's also that movie is so well rehearsed, and the chemistry between the characters, like I said, is great because they shot that whole movie in 45 days.
Really?
Holy.
Yeah, I know, right?
Wow.
That movie is 2 hours long, and they shot it in 45 days.
They had to do some long.
I guess it kind of makes sense though, because if it's not really going across the world, it's kind of all centered in just a town.
In the U.S.
So, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it kind of makes sense if you really think about it, but still
45 days. I mean, they had to do some 16-hour days shooting the film because I guess in some respects they didn't have to do a lot of special effects.
Yeah.
And it's all done on location in California in about 5 or 6 different scenes because you're either at Mr. Miyagi's house, the All Valley tournament, there's at the dojo, in the restaurant, at the golf. They do 2 scenes at the mini golf place.
Yeah.
So it's but still, I mean that's impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and I really like the cinematography in this movie as well. Just because there aren't so many cuts with shots, it's more continuous shots.
Okay.
Which kind of feels.
I see what you mean. They're not cutting.
Yeah, they're not cutting in different
forth.
angles all the time. The scene when after Mr. Miyagi saves Daniel from the bullies and he wakes up, that scene is 5 minutes long.
Jeez.
No cuts.
Ooh.
I looked at the
that.
time and I was like, oh, that's 5 minutes. That's long.
That's a good observation.
Yeah.
I never thought of that.
Yeah.
A 5-minute scene. Wow. And then you consider they did that in 45 days.
Yeah.
That's pretty impressive.
If they needed to reshoot it, that would be a kind of pain. And then you look at movies today, and it scenes, they're like pretty much just too flippant. With
8 seconds.
Exactly.
8 seconds, and then it's like, what did that have to do with the story at all? Yeah, but
That's
Yeah.
a good point.
Yeah,
okay.
I really like that.
That's a good observation.
Yeah, if you watch the movie, there actually are a lot of scenes like that.
That are long.
Yeah, that are just long, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it just keeps going. It's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's impressive then.
Yeah.
They did that in 45 days. Because you imagine have to reshoot that scene, which means they must have did it in 1 or 2 takes.
Yeah, well, I've read some behind the scenes stuff, and it seems like they rehearsed a lot before they actually shot. So that's probably also how they did it in 45 days, if they rehearsed it a lot.
That makes sense,
So,
I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, the music, like you said.
Oh my gosh. The
Pretty
music.
dated.
Hold on, I have a list of my favorites. Okay.
Oh, good.
Some of my favorite songs from this movie is The Moment of Truth, No Shelter, Young Hearts, and Feel the Night, and obviously You're the Best.
Yes.
Obviously.
Nice.
I think it's No Shelter that plays during the running scene when Daniel's running away from Johnny and his gang on Halloween night.
Oh, okay. Yes, in the shower.
In that scene, my stomach just always drops because
It's surreal.
Yeah, you're like, oh my gosh, like this is not good. The musical score is just
because that's when he hops on his bike and goes down the hill.
Well, there's that. It's when he's like, when he's climbing.
Oh yeah, he's trying to climb the fence and they pull him off. Yeah,
I'm like, something's going down. Yeah.
When did you see it, Deqlan?
Karate
Kid, do you remember?
I mean, I've probably seen it when I was a toddler.
Well, when did you first see it, I guess?
Yeah, when I probably first saw it when I was like a toddler. A few months ago was like when my dad first sat us down as a family and be like, all right, here's
guys, we gotta watch this.
Yeah.
Here's and actually take it all in, not just kind of a random watch. So
from beginning
to end, and actually kind of devoting that afternoon to watching it. Okay. So it was it was a couple months ago. So
that's cool. Okay.
It's still fresh on my mind.
Good. I'm glad. That was a random pick that you just watched it recently.
Yeah.
So.
Another thing I like about this movie is how they talk about Miyagi's past.
Oh, yes.
Pretty much, I'll read a short summary, kind of his past. He was once married and had a pregnant wife, but he entered the military and he earned a Purple Heart and a Medal of Valor. So,
jeez, wow.
Yeah, I know, right?
Some of the 2 hardest ones.
The Medal of Valor.
But due to complications at birth, both his wife and newborn son died. Sadly. I thought it was kind of interesting that they kind of touch on that part because he was moved to a camp, the Mezinar camp. Yeah. For all the Japanese Americans.
Oh, he was interned.
Yeah. So
wow.
They kind of touch on that part of history, which I thought was kind of cool because Hollywood doesn't really touch on stuff like that. And I think it provides some good depth for his character.
Well, that makes sense then why he was attached to Daniel, because he lost his son.
Yeah. I think
filled in the spot for both.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So he had lost his father, Daniel. They never say why, and he had lost a son, so they have a connection there.
Yeah.
Of the father-son.
Yeah.
Kind of a adopted father-son relationship there.
And another fact I figured out is that they didn't want Miyagi's that scene in the movie, like when they talk about his past, they want to cut that whole part out.
Huh. Really?
Which I think would have...
It would have taken away from
it would have taken a lot away from the movie.
I wonder who wanted to cut it and who made it stay in.
I think they wanted it to be shorter.
I wonder who fought for it, if it was the...
Yeah.
If it was the actors or if it was a producer. I'd be curious to know. Not that it matters, but I think it was wise to keep that in.
Yeah, for sure. When I tell my friends I really like Karate Kid, they just...
What?
Usually they don't know what it is.
Yeah, I know.
They're like, what? And I do, Miyagi's special power where he claps and rubs his hands together.
Yeah, do it simultaneously.
Yeah, I did that.
Yes.
I did that one time to my friend, and she's like, "What are you doing?"
She's like, "What are you talking about?" So see, if you're a listener, do that next time when somebody has a sore ankle or sore calf muscle. Just
rub your hands
clap together and rub your hands together.
Yeah,
and then say, I'll take care of this.
What is that? Is that Okinawa magic or something?
Yeah, Okinawa magic.
Yeah.
All right, Mom, if you're listening.
This is how you treat all your ails.
Yeah.
Just rub your hands together really fast and get hot compress.
Yeah. They also don't know what wax on and wax
off. Yeah.
But I didn't know that until last year because I was watching the movie and I was like, oh, that's what that's from.
Whoa.
Daniel.
All right. Well, any other last memories or facts or ideas that maybe we didn't cover? It's a stellar movie. I don't know. Have you watched the second and third one, Deqlan?
Don't.
Like I said, I probably have a long time ago, not recently.
Okay.
In my memory.
They're not that good.
Yeah.
No.
Third one's okay.
Yeah.
But the first one by far.
Yeah.
Is the best.
For sure.
Yeah.
And then you have the dichotomy there too with Johnny being the rich kid and his girlfriend's the rich kid and Daniel's the poor kid.
Yeah.
And so you
the
have
underdog
that
story.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's interesting that at the beginning of the movie, you think Johnny's the bad guy, but then later you learn, obviously, it's his karate master or
Yes,
teacher. Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
his
I think
sensei.
that's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot the guy's name, but
yeah.
you kind of get he's like, I don't want to be as bad as you want me to be.
Yeah, exactly. And you
Yeah.
kind of see that at the
The
tournament.
bullying, yeah.
He doesn't actually want to do that to Daniel, but
He wants to win fair and square.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
his sensei is like, no,
Yeah.
we got to make sure you win. It doesn't
Exactly.
matter how, but you got to win.
Mhm.
Whether it's cheating or not, you got to win.
Yeah.
Sweep the leg, Johnny.
Yeah. Put him in a body bag.
There you go.
I was-
If you haven't seen the movie,
Yeah.
you won't understand.
I was watching it with my sister, and she was like, "It's coming, it's coming! Put him in a body bag!" And she like said
Yes.
it with him. It was so funny.
Oh, they were just getting excited at the
Yeah,
tournament.
exactly.
And the crane kick.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
iconic crane
I
kick.
know.
Yeah.
He won with an illegal move.
Yeah, he won with an illegal move. The Cobra Kai series out on YouTube,
Mhm.
and they talk about that they give a whole Johnny's perspective.
Oh.
The whole tournament, basically they sum up the whole movie in about 10 minutes from Johnny's perspective.
That's cool.
And he
That's
talks
smart.
about, he's like, yeah, you won the tournament with an illegal move. And then he goes and, you stole my girlfriend, and just kind of the whole movie from his perspective.
And it actually kind of
And it makes sense. You're like, wow, yeah, you're right. Some of these things are kind of
sucky for you.
legitimate. And it does, spoilers, Cobra Kai, they talk about his dad. Johnny's dad is just a big-time bully and a jerk.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
so that's
yeah.
the reason he is the way he is. It's not because he necessarily wanted that. It's because his dad is his stepdad, I think. Is a complete jerk.
But yeah, that also kind of just points out to how pivotal fathers are, or not pivotal.
Important.
Yeah.
Influential. There we go.
Influential, that's what it is. Influential fathers are on, especially their children. Their sons particularly is,
It's important.
yeah, to actually teach their children how to be good sportsmen, how to be good men, how to function in reality, all that sort of stuff. So
Yeah, I agree. I mean, both Daniel and Johnny. Well, Daniel didn't have a father figure other than Mr. Miyagi.
Yeah.
And Johnny did, but he was a complete jerk.
yeah.
So he had a father that was there, but it was horrible. Daniel didn't have a father. And,
Yeah.
and so you just kind of see both sides of the spectrum there.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I love Karate Kid. You can't.
It's the best.
Yeah, it's the best around.
That's been
It's
ran
good
into-
montage.
Yeah, all the montages.
And that's, again, iconic of the 80s is the montages.
Yeah.
Oh,
Maybe
yes.
we'll talk about that maybe a little later, but yeah.
Probably.
Cool. Well, what about you, Declan? What's hers was Karate Kid. What's a important 80s, early 90s TV show / movie, whatever that really sticks out?
Well, I did a lot of kind of thinking about it recently. I actually found out that it's mainly a lot of TV shows.
Okay.
And the movies and stuff, like I've watched them recently and stuff because like I said, my dad has really been starting to put me down. Like, so here's kind of unveiling everything for me since I'm kind of able to understand stories a lot better now. Would you like me to do a TV series or?
Yeah, let's do
All right.
just do your favorite TV series. Let's start with that.
All right, so obviously, you probably know by now, I'm pretty much in love with Transformers and Star Wars. Obviously, Star Wars was still movies and stuff at that time. That was, the 80s was when that was really taken off. But, I mean, Transformers has probably been the most influential on me and myself. So, might as well start with the big
Yeah,
ones.
let's do the Transformers.
Yeah, why do I like it? Cars and vehicles and weapons and stuff turning into robots from another planet.
There's a lot to like there, so
Yeah.
And
I
did
mean,
you see? So you saw the TV show first,
or was it
the figures? First?
I saw the 1986 film first.
Okay, there we go.
And then like a couple months later is when the Michael Bay films came out. So
Okay.
I was basically just kind of swamped with all
You
this stuff.
just drowned in
Yeah, and
80s
Yeah.
Transformers
So, it was
nostalgia.
it was kind of
So
funny.
the first Michael Bay movie, was that 2007?
2007. Yeah.
Okay.
It was kind of funny because I was like pretty much addicted to Speed Racer at the time because that was around when,
yeah.
and I loved, like, I had bed sheets, I had toys, I probably had a poster or something somewhere, but like then my dad was like, all right, simmer down, let's get some,
Let's get you the grown-up version.
Yes, let's get it so it turns into but yeah, so yeah, he sent me down to watch the movie, and I was like, at first I was like, and then after I watched it a couple times, I was like, this is pretty dope. So, and then the Michael Bay films came out, and since I was so young, I didn't really, I look back on it now, and I'm like, but like at the time, I was like, trucks turning into blowing up cities.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Whoa.
so, and then like a lot of the humor and stuff just kind of went over my head, so it was mainly just watching it for the fighting and all that. But the 1986 film, the G1 movie, that was, it was mainly story focused, so I was a little bored with that, mainly just because, and I didn't really have any liking to any characters. So like obviously I kind of knew Bumblebee and I kind of knew Optimus just from seeing pictures that my dad had, but like I had no idea who Hot Rod was. I mean, nobody knew what
Nobody
they were
knew who Hot
when they
Rod
came
was
out.
hardly.
Yeah. I mean, the Japanese did, since they had some commercials and stuff out at that time. But yeah, it was mainly just kind of pushed onto me, but in a good sense, I guess. Yeah, it wasn't forced, but it was...
It was introduced to you, and
yeah.
you were allowed the opportunity to either grab onto it or
or shove it off.
Not for me.
Yeah, so
then all your Speed Racer stuff went out the
You're
window.
like, I don't need this anymore.
I don't need this anymore.
Mom, can I get a new bedspread?
I need new sheets.
I first saw the movie. My dad sent me down when I was like 3, I think.
Oh wow!
4.
So you're
It
young.
was
Starting you early.
Yeah. So yeah, it was like just about the time when I was actually like, I was getting into big boy school, I guess.
Yeah.
So, and that's around that time was when I really started getting into art. So, like I've been drawing and stuff, but it wasn't like, I don't know, like it was mainly just kind of cars and stuff and just kind of doodling. And obviously if it's a 3 or 4 year old, it's cute stuff to put up on the fridge. So, and that's mainly what I did. It was sort of that sort of stuff with Transformers, and I was like, oh, this is really cool. So I just mainly just really started getting into it, and didn't really have any art equipment, so it was just like a bunch of notebook paper and number 2 school pencils and stuff. So later on, I actually kept getting in trouble at elementary school because I was drawing so many Transformers and stuff in my notes rather than actually paying attention to class.
So, you know.
But here I am now, selling art at a convention. So.
Yeah, so I think you've done okay.
I think, yeah.
So you watched the movie, and then did you get introduced to the original TV show then later?
Later, because, I mean, at that time, since Michael Bay hadn't really come around to re-spark everything, there wasn't really a lot of Transformer stuff going around at that time. It was kind of dry in that sort of period. Like there was those, it's called the Unicron trilogy now.
Yes.
It's Transformers, Armada, Energon, then Cybertron.
Yes.
Armada was actually pretty good. Energon was, I want it to be eradicated from the planet. So does most other people. It was. I watched the WatchMojo.com and like that was number 2 on it. I'm like,
that shouldn't be there.
They got destroyed because of that. I'm like, they even say stunning visuals. There's so many shots of them like hovering over the ground because they didn't know how to.
They didn't complete the animation.
No,
and gosh,
I'm like, no.
So you can compare. You can take that the Energon show, which was at least 20 years later after the original. Like the original looks better than this.
I know. Yeah,
they did all this by hand.
Yeah.
The original stuff.
Oh yeah, totally. I mean, at least you didn't have to worry about the weird like miscolorations of like Soundwave's got an Autobot logo and
that. Oh wow.
That was. I could have a 20-minute long list of all the
screw ups that they have. So you watch the movie and then you watch some of the old original TV show. What is appealing, I guess, about the old 80s Gen 1 cartoon?
Honestly, it just boils down to the characters.
Okay.
I would honestly say. So Bob Budiansky, he was the guy who was creating the story for the comics. Then they're like, hey, you might as well come up with the character bios. So that's what he did. He came up with like the names and all that. So, but yeah, he came up with all their personalities, all their quirks, and all that stuff. And it was funny because they were actually changed quite a bit. Like Ratchet, he was actually supposed to be a girl after Nurse Ratched from what's that old show?
MASH?
Yeah.
No,
maybe I'm not sure.
I know what you're talking about, but I can't think of this TV show.
It was an older.
Nurse Ratched. Yes.
It was an older show.
Yes.
But yeah, so he was supposed to be based on. That's why his name is Ratched. So
okay.
But they're like, no, it's only a strictly boys show.
Yeah. So, yeah. I mean.
Yeah. He also kind of influenced the character design and all that. So like you look at again Ratched and Ironhide, their toys. Since it was from a bunch of different toy lines,
sure.
they basically put it together. But the toys, they were like mechs. So like there was like pilot seats and stuff that these little humans and stuff would ride on. So they basically got rid of the humans, so it was just robots. Ratchet and Ironhide didn't have a head. So what it did is like the front of the vanette was like almost like a face guard. So then the arms came out of that and their legs were down beneath. But like their pilot seat was like protected by the windshield or whatever. Mm-hmm. So basically what they did is they slapped a really ugly looking sticker of like an old wrinkly man on the chair.
Gosh.
So it's just like this like I don't know.
Now this design was for the cartoon or for the figure?
That was the toy.
For the toy.
So
okay.
Then they basically like we gotta change this. So then they kind of scrapped everything and then put it in G1 Ironhide and G1 Ratchet. So
I didn't know this.
Yeah, there's so much stuff behind the scenes that I was like, holy moly.
Well, that makes sense because, as you know, with your dad being into Motu, they kind of threw the Master Universe in the early days together. It sounds like with the early Gen 1 Transformers was similar, at least in America. I don't know because obviously they originated in Japan.
Yeah. So I've been kind of getting into the Japan stuff, but they also had to dumb down the designs and stuff. They were actually really, really
complicated.
Cool. Yeah, they were complicated, but they looked really cool. Mm-hmm. They used it in the commercials, but then since they had to like really quickly throw out the cartoon, they had to like quickly simplify it. So like you look at how Optimus looked to where then they changed it to be in the cartoon. He actually looked like the toy. It looked more like it turned into a truck rather than a robot that had truck parts on him.
Oh, good point.
Yeah. So they kind of flipped it around. But I mean, that's how Optimus looks, though. It's pretty iconic now.
Oh, yeah.
So that's, with my art, that's kind of one of the things I wanted to make it look like that robot actually turns into this vehicle. Yeah.
Or that vehicle, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, depending on which one.
So the original the original cartoon, I get back to that, the appeal was I like the character. Each individual character has their own personality. One's, maybe bossy. Another one's a little, I don't know, wimpy or
they all had their
scared.
Dynamics. Yeah.
Like we're talking about, Starscream's always working in the background trying to find an angle, and he's actually a chicken. He doesn't really want to fight anybody, but he will.
He wanted to be in command.
Just to try to be in command, and so you didn't really see that a lot, especially in the 80s stuff.
Yeah. But there was always some sort of plot going on with the characters, like the state of rank with the Autobots. So like Optimus was obviously the leader, Ironhide was kind of the second in command, then there was like Jazz and Prowl were like kind of there also as well, and then it just kind of went down from there. But then like when they introduced the Dinobots, Grimlock was like, Grimlock want to be leader.
Yeah,
so then he kept like almost trying to kill Optimus to get that leader because he didn't see Optimus as fit. But then all the Autobots are like, no, you can't do that. So then, that was just kind of the one thing when they introduced the Dinobots that always was kind of going on. The Decepticons, they kept getting more characters like the Insecticons and the Constructicons and all sorts of stuff like that. So you could like kind of see their army as kind of growing, even though the war was kind of dwindle down.
I love the introduction of the Dinobots. That was good.
That was good.
In the original. Is it season 2, I think?
I think it might be season 1, but then...
Or was it season 1? Okay, maybe it was
season 2 they introduced Swoop and the Stegosaurus, I think it was. But yeah. So they had the Grimlock. They all start with
I can't remember all the names.
Remembering my siblings' names is hard enough for me.
Yeah.
No, I
their
understand.
birthdays.
But I think there was 4 original Dinobots.
There was 3 actually.
Oh, the 3. Okay.
So there's the
T-Rex, the kind of the Brontosaurus looking guy, and the Stegosaurus or Triceratops.
Triceratops, and it was a Brontosaurus, but like since then,
it's not Brontosaurus. It's something else.
Yeah, it's like I can't remember. It's a Brontosaurus.
The new name. I just call it Brontosaurus because that's what it was when I was a kid.
Yeah, and then people are like, it's not a Brontosaurus. Oh, who cares? So you know what I'm talking about. But
I agree. They have a lot of variety. because you have all these different characters, the different vehicles and different things. And yeah, the story even though I know it was kind of thrown together, but they still did a pretty good job in my opinion.
Yeah.
Especially the art, considering it's all done by hand.
Yeah.
None of that was done on a computer.
No, yeah, computers, I mean, they're around, but they weren't for animation at all.
No. Cool. You haven't seen the Transformers movie, have you?
No, but I will gladly be educated by you on it.
Okay, well, came to the right person.
Yes.
So we already kind of touched on the appeal. Is there anything, when we've seen the new Transformers movies and
shows,
is there anything that maybe is similar to that has some of that appeal as far as the Transformers?
Obviously, since, I mean, this is kind of just a nitpick to sort of this time and era, it's a lot of people just taking the same ideas and then revamping them. So obviously there are going to be similarities, but the one biggest one that I think fits perfectly between nostalgia and new creative ideas is the IDW comics. Especially, so I mean, you just had an episode
I just had Tim. Oh, man. I think it's
it was so good. So I've really been delving deep into that. So I actually just completed the Lost Light series.
Oh, yes.
That's actually my first comic series that I've actually fully completed. So I'm kind of proud about that. But but yeah, like it hits perfect just where it's G1 nostalgia, and it appeals to new people.
Some new storylines and some things they really didn't touch on back in the 80s.
And they also like put homage to like quirks and stuff, and they actually like explain how it could actually work, which I was like, that's awesome.
I know those guys that are doing that IDW, but see, those guys are in their late 30s, 40s, so they grew up on that stuff originally, but now they're able to expound on it even more, that in a way they didn't do or weren't able to do back in the 80s.
Yeah, they might have had that idea when they're 8 watching the TV series, being like, why was this happening? And then they finally got the opportunity, this could be why they did it. So that's like one of the things that like just always drives me, is like, oh, I would be so happy if I eventually got to work for IDW. Might not be the future Transformer comic producer, but if I, whatever it was at that point, I would,
gladly, I'll do a cover for you.
Like,
if somebody's listening that works for IDW,
I would gladly do a cover
for free.
For free, Don't even put my name in there. Just let me draw something for you.
Did it. Okay, here's a good question. Favorite Autobot of all time.
Of all time, my
Autobot.
My kind of cop out is it depends on the continuity. So if you want to wrap it all together, I would say it comes down between Generation 1 Prowl and Generation 1 Skyfire / Jetfire. I always flip flop between those two.
Why that one?
Their characters and their design. So they got the best of both worlds.
Jetfire is the big jet.
He's the guy who was a Decepticon, then he turned Autobot. He's kind of like their carrier. Well, Prowl, it's interesting because he was, I can't remember his exact rank, but he was actually really high up, but he really never had any parts in the story or anything like that. He was just kind of always there in the background and just kind of helping out, which I kind of like, is like those background characters who have pivotal roles, but don't necessarily get a lot of screen time. So, but yeah, I mean, he turns into a Fair Lady Z police car, and I find it kind of funny because since it's Japanese toys, it has the Japanese police car sort of get up. So that's why it looks nothing like, you compare it to American police cars at that time. It's a like car that definitely would not be a police car at the time. So I actually just like really realized that. I was like, that's funny.
That is funny. Okay. What about Decepticon? Favorite Decepticon of all time?
I would say, at least currently, it's Blitzwing. Sometimes it'll be 6-shot, but it's it's kind of funny. It's always someone who has more than 2 modes. So so Blitzwing, he was the guy who turned it. He was tan and purple. He was the big bulky guy who turned into a tank and a jet.
Okay. So, I remember that.
Yeah, 6-shot. He was actually only in 1 episode in the American TV show. He was a guy, you might remember him. He was in the 4th season, which only had like 3 episodes.
Yeah, they're kind of dying off by then.
Yeah, but he had a robot mode, he had a truck mode, he had a flying gun mode, an artillery mode, a tank mode, and a wolf mode. I'm pretty sure that's all 6.
So you can tell it's later in the run because they're really trying to
But
Get all the loads.
they had all the toys finished, so
Yeah.
it wasn't just like pulling something out of air. They were actually complete. It was mainly just trying to introduce them at a good time, which they were really trying to fit in, which wasn't really working out for them at that time. But he looked really cool. Like his toy, like I would totally love to pick one up eventually, but since it's so rare and like it's got 6 modes,
He's
it's
really
so expensive.
obscure then.
Yeah, he's pretty obscure. I don't even think he talked. Like that's how.
It's one of those just in the background.
Yeah.
He's carrying something.
Yeah, he didn't kill since they weren't allowed to, but he knocked out like 12 guys in that whole episode. It was crazy.
But he didn't say anything.
He didn't say anything.
Like,
he just came in. He was like rolled out, transformed, and he just kept going in between and in between. So
Did you on the movie? Excuse me, the '86 movie. When you watched it, or even if you watch it now, do you think it's like, wow, this is pretty violent, or especially considering the TV show, and then you watch that, the difference between the two?
Yes, totally,
Yeah.
absolutely. Like obviously as a
Pretty
kid,
edgy.
I didn't really think about the characters since I didn't have any feelings for them, and obviously like the ones I did know, like Bumblebee and Optimus, I kind of knew them, but I wasn't like, oh my gosh, Optimus died, the world's ending.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's kind of sad, and it was a sad moment.
Yeah.
But then, spoilers. But yeah,
Watch
then
out.
Yeah, whoops.
yeah. But yeah, I hadn't seen it for like a couple of years or two. So then I was like, you know what we should do? We should sit down and watch it for it was my 15th birthday, so kind of recently. I lost track. I was like, what if we just sat down, watched it, the high definition version that just came out, and have some pizza for dinner.
Oh, yes.
So that's what we did, and I was like, this is like really good. Even though it's something basic and like spent like $20 on pizza. Obviously it's a little more than that, but but it was really cheap, really simple. We sat down, watched it, and I'm like watching, I was like, oh wait, there's and then the part where like Megatron comes in, busts through the ship, rips up, it kills everybody on board. Probably like it sits there, it turns around, I'm like, wait, no. He gets shot through the chest and his insides melt and like smoke fires, and I'm like,
Oh. You're like looking at everyone
like,
beside you.
That
like,
scene
don't
is
see me.
just brutal.
yes, they kill everybody, and I'm like, no.
That one Autobot's begging for mercy. Megatron just shoots his head
like
off.
Ironhead is like, you'll never kill it, and then they don't show it, but it's highly suggested that he blows his head off.
Yes,
I'm like, no.
That scene is like, whoa, they are not pulling any punches.
They were main characters too. They weren't messing around.
They were messing. They're like, we're taking everybody out.
They killed Ironhide like almost immediately at the movie. I think it's about time I dropped it. So one of the kind of inside jokes that me and my dad have been throwing out is, I guess I can kind of do a good Ironhide impression. So one of the things he was notorious for saying is butt prime or liquid nitrogen. So like, butt prime, liquid nitrogen. But yeah, Peter Cullen did the voice for Ironhide and Optimus.
Okay.
It's cool how I never knew that until I actually watched the end credits to actually see that. But yeah, they killed so many main characters.
And they wanted the original script. They wanted to kill even more.
Yeah, like there was a scene where Devastator was actually on a rampage, and like he like stepped on Sideswipe or something like that. And I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah,
they actually missed out on like, we never really know what happened to Skyfire and Sideswipe and all those guys. We just don't see him again. Although Skyfire, we do see him in one episode in the 3rd season, but he gets shot down, so it's presumed he died.
Yes,
which is kind of sad.
Right. Yeah, I can remember that.
Yeah. It was like Optimus turned into a zombie, and like he commanded them all to go, and like a bunch of people got shot down, and they're just kind of suggested that they die since they didn't really show them before or after, so it's kind of up in the air.
It's assumed.
So like you check the Wikipedia, and it's like assumed dead or something like that, or missing in action.
Yeah, Transformers. That's just, especially in the '80s, very iconic.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It was it was like you check the Christmas list, Transformers, He-Man, and like Star Wars were like the top 3. So
yeah, by far. The Transformers took America by storm.
Oh yeah.
I don't remember who. Was it Hasbro?
It was Hasbro.
That found it over in Japan.
Yeah, it was Takara that really got and then Hasbro came over. I had a toy fair over there to see what was hot at the time. That saw this, and at first they were actually kind of hesitant.
Yeah.
And then they really got kind of going with it, and they actually really got it going.
Sold a ton of figures.
Yeah. And it's an ingenious idea, because there's always been those sort of things, objects turning into robots or people turning into this or whatever. But this was actually a full-blown, that was the main focus on the series. So I thought it was great. Obviously, I thought the character dynamic was kind of good. So kind of backtracking a little, but Sam Witwicky and Sparkplug Witwicky, they were the main, and then I guess Carly, I guess she eventually became a Witwicky since Spike and Carly married. But they were the main humans in that show. Yeah. Obviously, they would have like a police officer come in. But, like you look at the Michael Bay films, and it's mainly just humans with the Transformers kind of implemented. That was one of my main nitpicks. And then you look at the recent Bumblebee movie, and they actually got it right where there was an even balance between human supporting characters and Transformers supporting characters, and there was like they were all main characters, but they're also all supporting at the same time, depending on which scene you're watching. So, but yeah, that kind of gives my point of view on that.
Yeah, well, it's good. Yeah, the Transformers is great. So I'm glad.
My personal point of view on it.
Yeah. I'm glad that you picked that, and I think it's got a lot of appeal even to kids today. So it just shows how good of the figures were and how good the TV show was, because it's still getting introduced to kids today. Yeah, people are still wanting that. So
yeah, and this is one thing I think they actually did really well is there's actually different continuities. So, like, there's the IDW continuity, there's the Michael Bay continuity, there's the Generation 1 continuity. Well, like, you look at Star Wars, and it's just one big universe.
Yeah, that's true.
So, I could literally create my own continuity for Transformers on an unofficial canon and go on for 40 years just developing it. And there's people who do that. So, like, me and my brothers and some friends that I have, we've been coming up with all sorts of stuff. Like, I'm actually tentatively, I'm having a hard time talking from all the talking I've done today. But yeah, it's not confirmed, but we are working on some ideas and stuff for possibly coming up with a comic.
Yeah,
so
that's awesome.
Yeah, I think it should be pretty cool. Obviously, it'll be kind of small. Well, I just want to get something small out there first to kind of test the waters before I go on and make like a 30-issue series or something like that.
Well, sure. You got to start someplace.
Yeah, exactly.
So we'll go with Ruth's next pick. What from the 80s, 90s you want to talk about next?
I picked Batman the Animated Series.
Nice. Yes. The original is like 1992?
1992 to 95.
Yes.
So I think it had about 3 seasons, and then they like made this different thing. I think it was Batman and Friends, and they put Robin in it more to make it more like kid friendly or whatever.
Yeah. Funny thing, just I'm actually currently watching it right now.
Oh yeah,
on Amazon.
The 92 animated.
Yeah,
or
the series.
Okay, or the Batman and Friends or whatever it's called.
Yeah, that goes later. It's really confusing how it all comes out.
Yeah. Anyways, continue.
All right.
Yeah. First watched the show growing up. It was never my choice to watch it. Usually, it was my brothers.
Your brothers were watching it. Yeah.
Yeah, I usually didn't get to pick. You know, they would always be watching. X-Men and Justice League.
Yes,
and,
those are good
shows.
Yeah, I've watched those ones, and I can't get into those ones as much because I watched a couple episodes of X-Men and a couple episodes of Justice League. I just didn't like them as much.
Yeah,
I don't know.
What about the 92 animated that is appealing, you think?
I really like the characters in it. I really like Batman. I like how he's
the voice.
Yeah.
That voice is perfect.
Yeah.
I forgot his name now. The guy that does his voice. Tim Conway?
Yeah.
Or not Tim Conway. That's the comedian. But
I can't remember.
But the voice is perfect.
Yeah,
and he's done. The guy that's done that voice has done the Batman / Bruce Wayne voice for over 25 years now. It's the same guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And he does a good job. I think it works.
Yeah. I really like how he does detective work in the show.
Yeah.
He doesn't just all action.
He was on a vigilante. He was also like in affiliation with the police.
The master detective.
Yeah, it was an action and spy and detective movie all wrapped together in one.
I think that's why I like it too.
Yeah, because he could go undercover as Bruce Wayne. And talk to somebody.
Yeah, he goes undercover as like homeless people.
Yeah, that's
episode.
Right. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
There's a lot of episodes.
There are. Yeah, I'm not quite finished with the series, but I've watched about half-ish. I also like that he has a relationship somewhat with Harvey, the guy who becomes Two-Face. I thought that was kind of cool.
That was cool how they actually developed it, and then he was actually like his best friend, trying to help him with his like mental instability.
Yeah. I thought that was cool. I also like the Joker. I really love how
Mark Hamill.
Yeah.
Luke Skywalker is the Joker.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, the Joker in that series was awesome.
The performance was great. He played a lot of the Joker after that, I think, too.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
I think he played him for a while.
He did. I think he did it through the whole series. Mark Hamill.
Yeah.
And in the movie, and he's done a lot of it.
I think I heard somewhere that he was actually one of his favorite roles that he did.
He did, yeah.
Which might explain why he did it for so long.
He pulls it off well.
Yeah.
He does.
I would never guess it was Mark Hamill until I actually saw, hey, Mark Hamill did the voice for.
He's so iconic to that voice that you almost can't picture the Joker as it sounding any other way because of that. Then he did, I don't know if you have it in there, but the Mask of the Phantasm movie.
Oh, yeah.
Really good.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
I would say, and you'll probably get to this later, that animated movie-wise, The Mask of the Phantasm was probably the best animated movie until Into the Spider-Verse came out.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
In my opinion, it is impressive.
I actually don't know if I've seen it. I've definitely heard about it.
Yeah, you need to watch it.
It's really good.
Yeah.
I mean, it's impressive.
Yeah, and it's kind of nice because it's PG, so, you don't have to worry
pretty
about who
kid-friendly.
you watch it around. You can just watch it.
You can watch it and you don't have to, oh crap.
Yeah,
Kid in the room.
Yeah.
I can explain.
It also has really good songs, really good music,
Yeah.
Gotta have that.
And that's one thing, sorry, backtracking on the Transformers, the soundtrack on the Transformers movie.
Stan Bush.
Very good.
Yes.
So anyway, all right, back to Batman, sorry.
I really like this version of the Joker in particular because some versions of the Joker, he's like a murdering psychopath, or he's just like crazy and
too jokey or too campy.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like they balance it pretty well, with an example being in the Christmas episode. I think it's
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, where he, like, all he wants to do is just throw a pie in Batman's face, and that's, like, his goal of the whole
Batman
episode.
is like, wait.
Yeah.
What? That's all you want to do?
Yeah.
He, like, captured all these people, set up the whole city to...
Yeah, and all he wants to do is put a pie in his face.
Yeah.
But there's also an episode where he puts a bomb in a kid's birthday cake.
Yeah.
And, like, he wants to kill all these people,
I'm like, hey.
good balance.
Yeah. I want to put a pie in Batman's face, but then I want to kill a bunch of kids.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, exactly.
He's the Joker.
He is the Joker.
He is the
He's
Joker.
the king of clowns.
Yeah.
Clown Prince. There we go. Clown Prince.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they have I think they have it on, I can't remember if it's on Amazon.
It's on Amazon Prime.
That's what I was thinking. It was Amazon Prime. You can watch it.
Yeah. Well, the first time I watched it, I was
when did you first see it?
Yeah, okay.
Well, I guess you already said when your brothers were.
I figured out that Fox didn't release all the episodes in order for the first season.
Yeah.
Which makes a lot of sense because when I was watching it, I'm like, why are they introducing like all these characters in the first episode?
Yeah.
The first few episodes. It didn't really make sense to me. I feel like it's pretty friendly for people who aren't too into comics because it made sense to me, and I'm not really into comics at all.
So they didn't release. That's interesting. They didn't release them all in order. So if you're watching it, you're like, this doesn't make sense.
And like they were. You get like the DVD version and it's in a different order than other versions are. And it's super confusing,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I really like its action, its drama, its comedy.
It's got a good balance, you said. It's got him investigating. Then sometimes it switches to him beating up the bad guy, so to speak. Yeah. And then you've got a good supporting characters in Alfred.
Yeah,
Alfred.
And then Robin, of course, later. But, But
yeah,
Alfred does make it. That kind of makes the show.
He's always got those one-liners up there.
He does.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I really like Robin's episode of Robin's Reckoning.
Okay.
It's
the first introduction.
The two-part,
with Dick Grayson.
Yeah.
Or is it? Yeah, it's Dick Grayson, not Jason Todd.
Yeah.
It's not Jason Todd.
Yeah. I also like how the spin they put on Clock King. That's funny. I just watched that episode yesterday.
I always like Clock King.
Yeah.
He's so quirky.
Yeah. I remember my brother walked in the room. He's like, why are you watching this? And I'm like, no, have you actually seen this episode? It's actually pretty good about Clock King.
It's Clock King.
Yeah. Well,
it's like you don't get it.
Yeah. Well, and he gets crushed by like all these gears and rubble falling down.
Ironic.
And Batman's like, he's going to be back. And I don't think he's going to be back from that.
Never be too safe.
Yeah.
The Joker recovered from a pool of acid.
Yeah, that's true.
Good point. Good point.
Anything can happen there.
And they have, and it looks real. I remember watching it when it first came out. You can't really tell what time frame it is because it looks like it's almost the 30s because you have these dirigibles and the cars and things, but then you've got the
like
Batmobile and some of the other things, vehicles,
futuristic.
And he's got computers. Like,
but yeah, and it's also like some of the 50s with all the weapons and what they're wearing and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's like all over.
It's definitely hard
they're
to pin
using Tommy
down.
guns, which haven't been around for 50 plus years.
Yeah, those were directly from World War II era.
Exactly. So it's like
that would have to be around the 40s and 50s.
Yeah.
And then, but what they're wearing and stuff, it's like from like the early 1900s.
Yeah.
Got futuristic stuff and all these gadgets and like. We don't even have that sort of stuff yet today.
So you really maybe that's just kind of to lend itself to the fact that's in its own little universe.
Yeah,
so
which I like it because it's not dated.
Yeah.
Same with the Incredibles and stuff like that. It's got like the vehicles and stuff from like the 1950s and 60s, but then there's like there you have helicopters and jets and all that stuff that we have today, and then like all the cities and stuff. It looks like stuff from the 1980s.
Yeah.
So. That's what I like about it, is they really mix things up.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's a subtle detail that you don't really notice until you actually think about it.
And the soundtrack on Batman is very
Yes.
good.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Oh, so good.
Yes.
Oh, it gives you goosebumps.
Yeah, that kind of orchestra type music that they have is excellent.
Yeah. And I feel like the animation has also dated very well.
It's actually really good.
Yeah, you know, it
doesn't feel like a 1990s cartoon.
Like I've seen a few clips from I think it's the Amazing Spider-Man animated series or something.
Oh yeah, from the early 80s.
Yeah.
Oh geez.
Yeah, and like they use CGI and it just looks so bad.
Yeah.
But then you look at Batman animated series and it still looks really good.
Still looks good.
Yeah.
Because it's I think why they did really good is because they're not using a lot of bright colors. It's a lot of dark, a lot of dark colors and a lot of just like black shadows.
I heard that they just draw on black paper, like that's how they did it, just black backgrounds.
It would save them ink.
That makes sense. Yeah, because it's all brown or black.
Yeah, exactly.
There's
It's very dark show.
Very little bright colors unless you have the Joker on screen. It's white and red and green.
Actually, mainly the villains who are the brightest colors.
Yeah.
So.
Oh well, there you go.
That makes sense.
I also like that it goes to like a wide variety of audience. You know, it works for kids like it, adults like it, everyone in between.
You're right.
Yeah.
It has a lot of appeal because of the tone or the storylines that they do aren't necessarily adult, but they're not necessarily kids.
Yeah.
So it's got a good balance, and anybody can pick it up and be fine with it. Do you know? Do you guys have any friends that have watched it?
I haven't actually really asked.
Okay.
So, I mean, I also have friends that are Batman fans, but I don't have any. No one's really said, "Oh, have you really watched the
original animated series?"
Yeah.
So, I mean, I could actually bring it up to them and see if they have that.
And you should maybe say, "Hey, do you want to sit and watch it?"
Yeah.
So, when did you first see it then, Deqlan?
Like I said, mainly just sat down and started watching it recently. So I've been finishing up the first season, so it's only been like a month.
So it does have appeal.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. Okay.
Like I said, I was like, this came out in the 1990s.
Yeah.
This is like better than some animation we have today.
Yeah.
So it still has. See, that's cool. That 20, almost 30 years later,
I know, almost
people still can watch it. Like, this is actually pretty darn good.
Yeah.
The story is good. They wrap it all together. Yeah.
Okay. That's awesome. Cool. Any other last words on Batman the Animated Series?
I think I got all of it.
Cool.
As far as I know. We'll figure out later.
All right. Yeah, we can always circle back.
Yeah.
All right. What about you, Deqlan? What's another one? Another TV show, movie?
I mean, I could talk for days on Star Wars, and like, you can find Star Wars anywhere else. So I kind of want to just kind of bypass that. Is it okay if I talk about the Alien franchise?
Yeah.
Is that okay?
Because, yeah.
Alien and Aliens, especially right now, they've really captured my attention. It's have you two seen them?
I've seen them. Oh yeah.
I haven't. Educate me.
All right. So, it is a rated R film just for the language, and there is a bit of intense violence, I guess you could say. So the first movie was more of an action / horror thriller.
Okay.
Well, the second one was like a war movie almost. It was violent, but in the sense it was like a lot of guns.
Can you give me like a short summary of it?
Yeah. So so basically, for the first movie,
pretend she's never seen the movie.
Yeah.
Anybody else out there?
In a
for the
theoretical world, like if I never saw it.
All right. So in the first movie, it's far ahead in the future, and there's this shipping ship that's going around carrying all these precious minerals or something like that.
Yeah, it's a mining ship.
Yeah, yeah. I can't remember. It had some weird name.
I don't remember the name of the ship.
But yeah, so they're flying out in space, and there's all the crew's in like this sort of stasis sleep or whatever. So then the computer turns on and wakes them all up, and basically they programmed it so once they reach Earth, that's when they'd wake up.
Okay.
So then they're like, hey, it's time to get home. So they like get up, they get dressed, and like, all right, what are we gonna do when we get home? Then they like look outside and like, where's Earth? And then they check their computer, like, we're still in the middle of space. Where are we? So then like it kicks off like right at the beginnings, which I really loved. So then they like go check the main computer, which was called Mother or something like that, or the Mother. Then it like tells them, oh, you're only halfway there. You're living on a prayer.
This is. Have you guys ever seen The Space Between Us or Passengers? That's what it is. It's Passengers. Oh. It literally has the same storyline as this. They wake up in space and they're only halfway there, and they're the only people awake.
Oh, wow. Interesting.
Yeah, that's the. I'm like.
See towards the end if it has the same.
Yeah. Go ahead, keep going.
So then they're like, "What's going on?" But then, like, almost immediately, they get like this SOS signal from this far off planet that's not too far away from them. So they're like, "Well, the crew is kind of torn. They're like, we need to go back to sleep and get back to Earth." The other one's like, it could be someone in danger. Yeah. So eventually, they basically go down there. They send out a small crew to go to the signal or whatever. So there's kind of like a montage of them walking across like this.
Good. It's a good movie.
This like space like
ship.
Yeah, they like go through all the moon, and it's like all this dust and snow, and then they eventually find like this big like almost horseshoe thing sticking out of the ground. So like, all right, this must be it. So there's like this big hole coming out, like this vent or whatever. So they walk through that. There's just the interior is so cool. Like it's all these tubes and like gears and stuff like that. There's just lining the halls, and it's like all this like dark gray and black and purple and stuff like that. So they go walking down, and they eventually find like this big open room where it's just got like this big almost telescope looking observatory room, and it's got like the skeleton sitting in the chair. So they're like, huh. So they walk up and they're like, this is a skeleton. So and it's not human. So they're like, huh. But little do they know, there's like this big, huge hole in like the chest. So this kind of foreshadows what's going to happen on in the future.
Yeah.
So then they find this hole in the ground, and they're like, "Hey guys, come check it out." So they look down, and it's like this big, misty, like almost ocean-looking room with all this mist, and there's like these purple lights that are like going up and down. It's like, whoa. When the scientist is like, all right, hold on to my belt, I'm going to go down there and investigate. So they lower him down, and he goes over, but he kind of slips and falls off into like this big kind of area, and there's like all these little pods, and he's like, huh. So he like goes over to one and is like, I think they're eggs, and then it opens up, and then I'm like, oh no. And like and then this thing flies out and like breaks through his helmet, lashes onto his face, and then it just kind of like cuts, and then then he goes back to the ship and kind of explains what was going on while they were waiting, and then like they get calmed or whatever, like, hey, this thing has attached to the doctor, I can't remember his name.
I remember his name.
It's attached to his
It's called a face hugger.
Yeah.
Face hugger? Face that sounds nice. You know?
Yeah, so it's basically with his hand that's lashed onto this guy's face with his tail.
Oh, awesome.
So they drag him back. They eventually get him back on. But again, the crew on the ship is torn because it's an alien life form, basically saying they need to decontaminate them before they let them in, just in case it doesn't bring something on board that they don't want. Which is what they definitely should have done. But then the main medical science is like, no, we got to let him in. He could be dying. So eventually, like, it gets pretty, like, they like almost start pointing guns at each other. Eventually the doors open and they bring him in. So they bring him over to the medical bay. They get all of his armor off, and sure enough, there's this huge thing attached to this guy's face with its tail wrapped around him. They try to pull it off, and it just wouldn't let go. They eventually tried wrapping the tail, but it just got tighter. Then they actually tried cutting it off, but it's got this acid for blood where it actually almost melted a hole through the ship. So they're like, oh no, we almost blew up the whole ship. Yeah, so like, well, let's just see what happens. So they just kind of leave him in the medical room and go off with their own business.
Yeah, that's not a good idea.
Yeah, because they find out what the face hugger is, allows him to breathe too. So they figure, well, I guess he's still alive, so we'll just
see what happens.
I think they were talking about going back to sleep and just going to Earth with the face hugger on his face.
Yeah, for medical research
and
or
just
whatever.
not.
Yeah,
and
just kind of. Yeah, they didn't know what was going on, so they just kind of left it be. So then they go back to their business. They're talking. They're doing maintenance and stuff like that. So like it just kind of develops the characters a little bit more. Then it cuts back and they're like, "Oh, hey, he's waking up." But then they're like, wait, where did the thing go? So they go around looking for it. They can't find it. Eventually it falls from the ceiling onto...
Oh, yeah.
What's her name's? It falls on and she like freaks out and there's this little thing curled up and it's just like a dead spider almost. And it's just sitting there and they like poke it. Eventually the guy like kind of cuts it open to do surgery. But like, it's like so gross. But it's kind of cool at the same time. So then they're like... Okay, then. So then they go back to the scientists
because the guy feels fine. He's like, I'm fine.
Yeah. So
wait,
like,
the guy with the face hugger on him?
Yeah. So,
he just wakes up and he's fine.
Yeah, just wake up and he's like, I don't really remember what happened, but I don't feel any different. So then like, all right, let's go have some dinner. So they go out to the little kitchen thing that they have going on. They're eating, they're kind of laughing and stuff, and then like the guy's like, I got like some heartburn. He's like, I don't feel so good. Then he's got that heat syncope. So then he like starts coughing and like starts throwing up blood, and they're like, what's going on? Then he like starts like shaking and he like falls on the ground. And he like starts screaming, and then you just hear this little like screech and like this little thing move around under the guy's shirt, and like, oh my god. And then what's the cool thing about here is they didn't tell any of the actors what was going on besides him and the director. So nobody knows what's going on. This is all authentic reactions.
That's awesome.
Then this thing rips through, blood goes everywhere on all the actors, and this guy's just lying there dead. And this little thing looks around, and then it shrieks and it runs off and it like throws over a bunch of stuff. So the crew's like,
what the heck just happened?
Yeah.
So they're like, well, I guess we got to do two things. First, we gotta take care of the dead, and we gotta find this thing. So they take care of the body. They send him off in space, give him a funeral or whatever, and then they go off on the search for this little insect thing.
It's called a xenomorph.
Yeah, so this is in its...
Rolls off the tongue.
Yeah, xenomorph, which is a morph because it changes its shape rapidly, and xeno, the Greek word for unknown. At this time, they actually didn't have a name for it. They just referred to it as an alien. So
that's true later on,
Yeah, it was in the second movie where they actually dubbed it xenomorph. So then they split up.
Let's split up.
That's a great idea.
And so I'm like,
let's Scooby-Doo it.
That'd be great.
Yeah, they give these like cow prodders and flamethrowers.
Yeah, that's right.
Flashlights. So they kind of split up. They go check like the main areas, and like we still haven't found everything. So then they like fully split up because they're like, wait. So they go off again. The one of the mechanics, he finds the cat, which like you know, like
that's
some
right.
shifting.
There's a cat there.
Yeah. So he sees some shifting. I'm like, oh no. And then he like, and it's just the cat, and they're like, okay. Then like the cat runs off or whatever. So he's walking, he's looking around. He goes into like this boiler room area.
Yeah,
and there's like chains and water falling. Who knows where the water came from? Just condensation since the ship's so big, I guess. So he like washes his face in it or whatever. And then like he sees the cat again, and he's like, "Oh, hey there, kitty." So then he goes down. Then you just see this tail drop behind him, and he still doesn't know. And then he's like, the cat starts hissing, and he's like,
"What's the problem?"
He turns around, and this head, this like long bulbous head with this huge mouth that comes down, and it's upside down.
Oh my god!
And he's like, this thing grabs onto him. The mouth opens up, and this little tiny one comes out and just boof right through his head. And then he pulls him up into the ceiling, and it just kind of fades, and then you just hear this like screeching of this guy who's being ferociously murdered.
Is it bad that I just feel bad for the cat? The
cat's just sitting there watching
this
whole thing go on. So obviously the alien slowly kills off all the crew except for
the captain. And then the smart one, he goes off. The smart one, what's
Ripley?
Yeah, Ripley
is the last one, the girl.
So she's like, the only thing I can do. So they eventually find out that one guy's an android.
Oh yes.
Yeah. Then he's like that piece of. He was in leagues with the computer, and he was trying to get us all killed and do for a science experiment. So yeah, long story short, she's the only survivor. This xenomorph thing is going around. She tries to set herself to ship to self-destruct. But then she's like, wait, no. But then it's too late. So then she's like, okay, I gotta run. So she grabs the cat. She grabs her flamethrower. She's running down.
She grabs the cat?
Yeah.
It's good.
So she's like peeking around every corner because she doesn't know where this thing is. So luckily she doesn't encounter it. She gets on the little skate pod. She sets everything down. She shuts the door. She leaves. She sails off, and the ship explodes. She's like, oh. So then she starts gearing up to go back in her own stasis. Hypersleep, whatever they call it. Then she's messing around in a terminal, and then an arm falls on her hand, and she looks up, and this thing was blended in with the pipes because the top of the head was kind of shiny. It looked like a tube. So then it looks up at her, and she's like, she jumps behind and like is sitting like up against the wall, like just trying to make sure this thing doesn't come at her. So she's kind of clawing at her from across the wall.
Yeah, because it's stuck.
Yeah, because it like embedded itself in the wall.
Because as she ejected from the ship, the little shuttle, it got stuck in between the I don't know, the pipes and stuff.
Yeah.
When she ejected, because she had to leave the ship before it blew up.
Okay, yeah.
So then she's just kind of like, what do I do? So then she like slips into like this
bodysuit.
Yeah, big spacesuit. Then she this thing kind of gets out, so they're just kind of walking around the ship before she ends up getting it like right behind the airlock. So then she slams the thing open and it sucks out into space. She shoots the harpoon into it, which then shoves it out. But it grabs onto the door or whatever. But then she kicks it out, so it's just kind of dangling because the harpoon got stuck on the door ledge or whatever. So then she turns on the engine and it basically like explodes it into a million pieces. It was so cool.
The actual, on that movie, the alien itself was only seen about 18 minutes in the whole movie.
Yeah.
Really?
That was the cool thing about it. They kept this,
it's intense because you don't know.
You don't know what it looks like until like the very end.
Yeah.
So that's one of like the main things they tried to do with horror movies, and that's one of the main things that they do to make it good is they keep it obscure.
Yeah, that would definitely make it more scary.
In the second movie, I can summarize it real quick because it's just Alien, except there's a bunch more of them.
So she like wakes up and
and she has to deal with these aliens again, huh?
Yeah,
well,
so she's
in the space shuttle
or whatever.
So she's in the shuttle heading towards Earth, but she's asleep. So she goes past Earth. And then the mining crew finds her, and then they go. I can summarize it in about 2 minutes because they go back to the original planet where they found the alien.
With the military and all.
They
that
put
stuff.
a base there to colonize it.
Okay.
But we find out they did that on purpose to try to get more aliens to study them. And so the colony doesn't know they're there. And they impregnate the entire colony so that there's hundreds of aliens.
Oh, okay.
Basically, everybody's dead.
Yeah.
So then the military comes in.
Because
the
military
they got,
always helps.
Distress signal.
The Marines.
The Colonial Marines. I always think Space Marines, but that's from Warhammer. So the Colonial Marines, they come in, they find Ripley, and so she basically gets kind of persuaded to come and show these guys because she actually experienced them firsthand.
Yeah.
So Colonial Marines are like, you gotta kind of help us because we have no idea. But since they don't know what they're facing up against, they're all cocky and stuff like that. So then they load up in this. Then they go out. They haven't found anything yet. It's just kind of dark and rainy and just kind of eerie. So then they eventually find the base or whatever that there was in. It looks a little messy, but there's like it didn't look like anybody really died here. So, but then they find like some holes in the wall and stuff like that. And they're like, huh. Then like hear some rustling. Like they start like shooting and stuff, but it's like this little girl, and like everybody's like, "No, stop!" So yeah, they eventually find her, and she's like, she was actually really creepy in the movie because
Newt,
Newt, because she like doesn't really speak a lot, but she like just speaks in like these little creepy like they mostly come at night. Mostly. So it is like, it gives you goosebumps.
Yeah. And
it's in that innocent child tone, too.
And then that scene where she says, oh, you're going to be fine. The Marines are here to protect you. She's like, it won't matter.
Yeah. And she's like holding her.
The doll.
Yeah.
It was like, it almost made me choke up. But yeah, so basically, pretty much all the Marines eventually get killed.
Not surprising.
Yep.
So besides
Ripley,
Hicks, and then Newt, obviously.
And Newt.
Hicks was
like the little girl.
Yeah, Hicks was actually like the one tolerable guy.
Yeah.
Everybody else was like, they either were funny, too funny,
or jerks,
too much of a jerk, or too cocky, or too by the book, and that's the thing. That's what got them killed. So yeah, they'll kind of have their last stand moment.
Yeah, they do.
So yeah, eventually Hicks, Ripley, and new, and then the android guy, Bishop. Yeah, they all make it out. Bishop gets ripped in half by the Queen at the end, which I thought was kind of cool because it's this huge armature, and you see this guy just, and then all this like, I call it milk, all this white oil goes up,
fluid everywhere.
Yeah, so he's just kind of a stunt lady, like, get it, Ripley, get it. But yeah, show the iconic, they fall into the pit, she comes up, slams the button, the airlock opens up, she's hanging on, the alien queen gets sucked down into space, and then it closes, and then they all just kind of, and then they all go into their own stasis state, and that's kind of where it ends off. So
cool.
Done by James Cameron.
Yeah, James Cameron, that was like one of his first.
But still, even that movie has a lot of, anticipation, because you have the iconic, the little radar, beep.
Yeah, and it's just
as it gets closer, it speeds up and louder, so you're like, oh, they're coming.
And then like he looks up the roof and you see like all these like heads look up and they're like, oh, so he comes down, they're like.
So they use the intensity of the radar to anticipate them coming.
And that's one thing I noticed in the first movie. Backtracking to that is, in the background, there's always a steady thump, thump, and it always speeds up. And like
I didn't know.
I did not notice that. It's like so low and it like blends into like the background machinery. But your heart rate actually follows it. They got that to happen. So then, and the thrilling parts that actually speeds up, and like you got like more like lights and stuff that are flashing, and that like, so you're just like overstimulated the whole time, and then it just kind of leaves you off like, is this a happy ending or is there more to come?
Yeah.
So yeah.
So when did you first watch these?
I first watched these a couple months ago.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, pretty recently.
New.
Yeah, they're fresh off my mind because I've seen them before. Like I knew what a xenomorph was. I watched a few like, oh, this is kind of the lore on it. I was like, hey, this is actually really cool. So I kind of drew them around a bit, and I actually can draw them pretty well. So
okay.
Yeah, so I one of my school projects or whatever is you can draw whatever you want. So I drew the IDW Grimlock facing off against the Queen Xenomorph.
Oh, yeah.
And it's actually pretty cool.
Okay.
So yeah, so I was like, this is actually pretty cool, man. My dad was like, wait, how do you know about this? And I'm like, oh, I've just kind of been looking around on the internet. So I was like, can we actually see this? And so he was like, yeah, sure. So we just kind of waited until it came up on demand. So then we sat down on like a Saturday night at like 10 o'clock. It got done at like 1. It's almost a 3-hour-long movie.
Wow.
So we watched it and we're like, oh. And then a little bit later,
the Aliens movie.
That was the Alien.
Oh,
like a couple weeks later, then we watched Aliens.
Okay.
So then I was just.
There's some I don't know if you've watched it yet, but there's a director's cut version of Aliens, which has some extra scenes in it. They're really
same
cool.
with Alien. And Alien, the main scene that they cut out was basically all the crew members that were supposed to be dead. They actually weren't killed. They were actually being turned into eggs.
Oh.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
okay.
so it's called egg morphing or whatever. So basically they're kind of slowly dying, and they're like, kill us. We're dying.
That's right.
So they actually cut it out. So I guess the director was like, I don't really like that idea. And it was also kind of like pretty messed up.
Yeah, it's pretty disturbing.
Yeah, they actually kind of bring it back, and I think it's the 3rd or 4th movie. I haven't seen the 3rd or 4th movie, and I don't really want to see it because it's pretty bad.
Yeah.
And like it's mainly just focusing on like the blood and gore of it. So
they kind of do, yeah. They did good on the first 2, but after the rest of them,
it's unnecessary violence, which which I don't
just
really
more
care
gore for gore's sake.
Yeah, which
in my opinion,
I mind gore, and I think it's okay. I'm not gonna throw up or anything about it, unless it's like completely overdone and it's not necessary.
Yeah.
So, yeah. That's the kind of where like I kind of almost want to watch The Walking Dead because it's kind of interesting and it has a good story.
Yeah.
So that might kind of get me over the gore, but like just like watching like just some like comedy horror movies, I don't really find it interesting. So,
yeah.
So the appeal to it is just the horror. Or it's not necessarily the horror, but
it's
the anticipation.
The thriller.
The thriller, there we go. That's probably of it.
Yeah, and I'm actually not too much of a fan of thriller movies. I just always like find myself like, I need to actually like take a break. I feel like I'm going to die for a minute.
Yeah.
So you would, I guess...
But I love the concept of it.
Maybe The Walking Dead and these movies as kind of a similar...
I would, kind of. I mean, the themes are actually kind of similar as well. It's just trying to survive this.
Yeah.
This
thing that's
after you.
Versus The Walking Dead is the thing that's after you.
Yeah. Of course, it's on a much larger scale.
Yeah.
But yeah. You could kind of relate it.
The unknown.
Yeah, the unknown is basically what it is. So, just kind of moving on. What makes it unique? This was like the first time anything like this actually hit the theaters or was really a thing out there. This was actually a fever dream by not Ridley Scott, the art director or whatever. Like he'd been having like these recurring like horror nightmares of like these like.
I know what you're talking
body
about.
parts of these body parts made up these aliens or whatever.
Geiger.
Yeah.
He's French, I think.
Yeah, but like he had like these dreams, like these walls covered in flesh intertwined with machinery, and I'm like, ooh, that's kind of interesting, but pretty messed up.
Yeah, if you've seen some of his other art, it is kind of weird.
Yeah, and it's a little graphic, I guess you could say. But
it is very graphic.
Yeah, so. But that was like the main inspiration for this movie or whatever. So,
Ridley Scott saw Geiger's art.
I could turn this into a movie.
Yeah, so I can make this into an alien horror movie.
So that's what they did, and like it literally blew back the legs of all these people because there hadn't really been any science fiction movies, let alone science fiction horror movies.
Yeah,
it was kind of like the main one at
Yeah.
that time was like 2001. This actually came out before Star Wars.
Yeah, this came out in 76 or 77,
something like that.
Yeah, you're right. It is, I think, one of the first sci-fi horror that I know of.
Yeah,
there might
it was
be something
definitely
else,
the biggest science fiction.
No, that's
horror.
true. Yeah.
Yeah. At least that.
Sigourney Weaver. There we go. She was the star.
Yeah,
she's Ripley.
Yeah. So then the Aliens came out, and people were really anticipating that. And it ended up being really big, so like, let's keep going. So then they made Alien 3, but that kind of bombed at the box office. And people were like,
Yeah.
And then it was like another 10, 15 years. And then they made
Alien Resurrection.
Yeah.
Alien 4.
Yeah.
Then, of course, they got the new ones.
Yeah, then they had like a bunch of Alien vs. Predator movie, which kind of confirmed that they're in the same universe, which the comics are more where the AVP stuff is.
Yeah, I like those.
The video games.
I saw those, or I read those when they first came out by Dark Horse. Yeah. That was a good series.
They were good. Again, a little graphic, but it was a good story.
Good concept.
Yeah. So, yeah, and it explained both species really well. So then recently Ridley Scott went back and is kind of making prequels to explain everything. So he made Alien Covenant, or just Covenant, as you would call it, which I actually didn't know it was an alien movie until kind of recently. I was like, huh. And because they don't
Are you
show
talking about Prometheus?
Or Prometheus, not
There
Covenant.
we go.
Yeah, Prometheus.
Yeah.
Prometheus, they didn't actually really show any aliens till
the very
end. I haven't seen it yet. I kind of want to watch it, but I guess it kind of gets a lot of hate because it's like, oh, here's this space drama thriller movie, and then this is also part of the Alien franchise.
Yeah, that's kind of how they treated it. Yeah, I've seen it.
But I guess it kind of makes sense because you don't want to have everything come at you at once, since you kind of have to explain everything. But I feel like they probably could have gotten it a little more into it a little sooner. So then Alien Covenant came out after. And I was like, oh, they're redoing Alien again. But I didn't know that Prometheus came out because on the trailers they didn't show any aliens or anything like that. So I just thought it was just another science fiction space drama thriller movie or whatever. But yeah, then Covenant came out, and I was like, oh, this is actually pretty cool. I think that was kind of the thing. I was like, this is actually a cool concept. Maybe I should kind of get into this. So then I just kind of got into the lore, and then I watched the movies, got into it. So probably going to skip the third and fourth movie.
Just go to Prometheus.
Yeah, just go to Prometheus. But I guess the third movie he was going to do was actually canceled, or at least postponed.
Yeah, because the last one didn't do really well.
Yeah.
So they're kind of rethinking that.
Yeah. Yeah, it kind of depends on who you ask. It's either you love it or you hate it, I guess.
Yeah.
So some people are like, this is actually really cool, and it's more those people who are casual fans, I think, is from what I've observed, is they really like it. But like you get those like people who are like do all sorts of cosplaying, they like own all the comics and stuff like that, who are like, this is disgusting. Because I guess it kind of rewrites the lore.
It does, kind of,
like
yeah.
Star Wars did Disney did with Star Wars. Since it's a rated R film, not a lot of kids really know it, and since it's kind of old, it's like, oh, that's a classic. It's an oldies film and stuff like that. So, once I get to more like the 20s age, I think that's when I'll actually be able to kind of show people, hey, I'm an Alien fan. Are you? So, I can't really talk about that too much, but I mean, some of my friends know about it since it's science fiction. So it's kind of pivotal.
It's been around long enough that people, even no matter what age, you're like, oh yeah, I know what that is.
Yeah.
You may not know
they'll recognize it, but they won't really know
the whole story
necessarily.
necessarily.
Yeah, cool. To the current generation, there isn't too much. It's kind of what inspired everything, but there's an exact like, this is totally relatable to it.
I think
obviously there's like The Walking Dead or whatever stuff like that where it's kind of similar, but yeah. Anyways.
There's an example. What's it called? The Quiet Place.
Yeah,
that's pretty similar.
That's actually kind of similar.
Yeah, I feel like that's a good example.
That's a good example.
It's about this unknown monster thing
alien,
that came,
kind of.
and you don't know where it came from.
Yeah.
You see, it's here.
Yeah, they don't really show it
it's,
either. Yeah, so.
Yeah, they keep it kind of hidden, but they do show it at the very beginning, which kind of turned a lot of people off. If they didn't do that and they followed Alien's kind of route where they only really showed that at the end, it would have actually been more of a horror movie than anything.
Yeah.
So I was actually watching this guy's kind of like nitpick criticism of it. And
of Alien or
of
Quiet
Place.
Okay.
But basically, it's like they could have totally like hidden it, that like entrance scene. I don't want to spoil too much. This is pretty recent, but they could have totally hidden that scene where it jumps out behind like a boulder or a different shot or something like that.
Yeah,
and it would still have gotten the effect. It might have, and it probably would have even made it more sadder. Better and sadder, more scarier even. Where you don't know what just happened. Where did this thing go?
Because some of the fear that they get from these movies is the unknown.
The fear of the unknown.
Because that is the scariest.
That was the main thing that he said, was fear of the unknown is the biggest fear that you can get out of a movie.
Yeah.
But it was funny because he was like, how did these people know what was going on? So he's like, he made up like this fake magazine or whatever. He's like looking at it, I was like, they're attracted to sound. Whoosh. And what's up was like, and it was like, well, be it was so good. But anyways,
that's a good point. The Quiet Place would be something similar. In modern time,
it'll kind of always be around. It's just such a cult classic.
Yeah.
I don't know if it'll be rebooted again for another time. Obviously, there's still going to be the comics and fan fictions and video games. Like recently, there was Alien Isolation, which dropped. I watched a playthrough of it, and it was like 20 hours long. I'm like, jeez. But it's basically, it's like a full-on, you're playing through basically the first Alien movie, but more in depth. So like you go onto the ship, it's kind of the same, it's like Alien and Aliens combined. So it's like a rescue mission, but it's Ripley's daughter, actually.
Okay.
So it looks like her, it actually sounds like her, and her name's Ripley, since that was her last name.
Okay.
So she goes onto the ship, they know that there's this thing there and they think that they have some information on where her mother went, because at this time she was in stasis. No one knew where she went. So so she goes on board and she's like, where is everybody? It turns out, since a bunch of the crew died by this creature, obviously it's a xenomorph from what we know. She doesn't know that, obviously. But the ship actually has kind of gone crazy. So there's actually like these tribes and stuff on the ship that have formed, that are just kind of like fighting against each other to try and survive against this thing that keeps going around killing them. And then like all the androids and stuff have actually like been reprogrammed by the ship's computers to actually turn hostile against the humans, which wasn't in their programming. So you gotta look out for other humans, androids, and this thing that can just come out of nowhere. But yeah, I can't remember exactly how it ends, because I think I watched the last episode when it was kind of late, so like...
who knows what happened?
Who cares? Too tired.
I'll have to watch the ending again, but like, they used they created the soundtrack for it, and it was heavily based on the original Alien movie, and I love the soundtrack for it. It's so good. But yeah, the at the end of Alien, the trivia, the end credit music or whatever, was actually a guy who lived in Wahoo, Nebraska. That big mansion.
Really?
He was the guy who composed it. So that they used it for the end credit music. And I was like,
cool.
Small world.
I've been inside that mansion and stuff for Wahoo days or whatever. I can't remember what it's called. But I've been in there. I looked around, but then I was like, wait, this is the guy who did the music for it? That's so cool. I don't see any xenomorphs around here. What's going on?
Be careful.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, all right. Well, I'll have to try the Aliens franchise. Check it out.
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah, it's fun. It's pretty in depth.
Pretty intense.
Pretty intense. Yeah.
What do you have? One more, Ruth, or a few others?
Well, I guess I have honorable mentions. Okay. I don't really have facts about all of these individual things. I really like.
Let's rattle off a few.
Yeah, Ferris Bueller's Day Off, which I think that's a great movie. It's nice, like summertime movie.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know. Yeah, it's nice, light-hearted. I feel like.
Funny.
Yeah. Back to the Future, obviously.
Nice, obviously.
Yeah.
That was one of my.
Yeah.
So.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I recently watched that.
The first one.
Yeah, the first one. Mm-hmm.
That was one of those other ones that my dad introduced me early on.
I really like the action scenes in that one. That one was pretty good.
It was good.
Bill and Ted's Excellent
Yes,
Adventure.
that was another one of
Yeah.
such a classic.
Yeah.
And they're doing a third one
Yeah,
here.
they're doing a third one.
They just announced
Next year, I think 2020.
Yeah.
Such a good duo.
One that I haven't watched, but I want to watch more is Saved by the Bell.
Nice.
The TV show,
I haven't watched much of that, but I definitely want to watch more of it. But one thing I really like about 80s and 90s movies is that I feel like there's actually like work put into them.
Exactly.
It isn't being recycled in any way.
You're right. They're all original.
Yeah, they're all original. You're not rewatching the same thing. And I think that's why we all like everything from there so much, because it's not being recycled in any way.
Okay.
Or a lot of dedication and love is put into a lot of things from that generation. So...
Yeah, because a lot of the stuff now is just remakes.
Yeah,
of the
a
80s,
lot of
up
it.
to the 90s, up to even the early 2000s.
Yeah.
So,
which, I mean, I'm glad they're redoing some of that because they're reintroducing a new generation to the old stuff.
Yeah.
But you're right, it isn't
sometimes
original.
they can really mess up.
Yeah.
Like, that's kind of what happened with Michael Bay, but it also brought in this whole generation. I thoroughly believe Transformers would have died off if it wasn't for him.
Yeah.
So
yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah.
As much as
it was
some people
really fizzling out, they were like losing the rights and all this to like the characters and all that. It was actually kind of sad. But yeah, so is that all your honorable mentions?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, the thing about that, it breathes new life into the old stuff. So some people watch the Michael Bay movie, but they're like, well, there's this whole TV show, there's this whole movie, there's whole figures from the 80s, so they'll go back and say, oh,
exactly.
Maybe they'll ask their parents, well, did you watch this? Oh, yeah, I watched that when I was a kid.
Yeah, it's like a symbiotic relationship.
So yeah, it's not new, it's not original, but it introduces a younger generation to the old stuff, and they're like, actually, I think I like the old stuff better than the new stuff.
Yeah.
It's just kind of getting to the point where that's the only stuff out there.
Sure.
So, yeah, that's where I'm like, okay, I don't think this is a good idea anymore. Obviously, there are a few where I'm like, this is actually a good idea to redo this. But then there's others like, this is such a classic. This is kind of like a sinful act of remaking it.
Yeah.
Just leave it alone.
Yeah.
It's as good as what it was intended to be.
Yeah.
So what is something you guys would consider more your generation, whether it's TV show, movie, toys, that you think will have, that's original, that will have some staying power in 20 years?
Well, like we said earlier.
Yeah, you go. I know you have one.
Into the Spideyverse. We talked about that earlier.
I think Into the Spider-Verse
will be a classic.
Yeah.
Really good.
Yeah.
The Batman animated movie was probably the Spider-Verse probably I think will probably usurp that.
I also really like Black Panther. I think that's a good movie. Yeah. I don't know if you guys have heard Steven Universe. There's also, I really like this show called Merlin. Probably nobody's heard of it. But it has really good character development and relationship with the characters.
Yeah,
it's a TV
about
show.
10 years ago now.
Yeah, early 2000s. It's about, I guess, the wizard Merlin and Arthur and...
medieval.
Medieval stuff. But it has great character development, which I feel like most shows don't have now. You can really see the development between the first season and the last season, and I feel like that's good.
Well, like your character, I think Last Airbender.
Avatar: The Last Airbender. That's
I think
good.
That's original.
Oh, that's an awesome show.
I think people will still be watching that 20 years from now.
That was like the big thing in 2008.
Yeah.
I thoroughly remember that. That was...
Yeah. I think for animated, well, even just non-animated, it's a good story overall.
Yeah.
And so that's something you guys in 20 years you'll be showing you. Oh, you need to watch this Last Airbender cartoon. It's really good.
Yeah. Well, and it's a 20-minute episode, so it's really easy for somebody to breeze through it.
And it's kid friendly.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about not watching it. And I think Steven Universe similar. Similarly.
Yeah.
So cool. What about you, Deqlan? Any rattle off a few?
You listed quite
contenders.
A few. But a few that I think will be good is kind of like the early 2000s mainly was Star Wars Clone Wars, which is the predecessor from Star Wars The Clone Wars and came before Episode 3. So that's where a lot of like the love for Clone Troopers and General Grievous and all that sort of stuff. And they're just these like 3-minute shorts that would air in between episodes of, I can't really remember all the TV shows that were going on like that back then.
Well, it was Cartoon Network, and that was Jindy Tardinsky. I'm slaughtering the name, but he did Samurai Jack.
Yeah, Samurai Jack.
Okay,
yeah, he did he was like one of the.
He was the big guy for Cartoon Network back in the.
I know a bunch of guys who are like 20 and artists and stuff like that. He was like their idol for them, and I don't like. It makes sense.
Yeah.
It's an interesting art style. It's easy to do, but if you pull it off good enough, it looks fantastic. Another one, and I was actually kind of surprised that you didn't name this, was Teen Titans.
Oh, Teen Titans. Yeah.
Teen Titans was, oh man.
Yeah, you're right. Show. Okay, yeah.
I think that'll be, it's been rebooted like twice already. Teen Titans Go.
Yeah, Teen Titans Go.
Teen Titans Go what? Sorry, we don't talk about that here.
Yes, exactly. It's a mockery of
don't
the
say
fandom.
That again.
It's basically what it is. So.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah,
it's making fun of the fandom, basically.
Yeah.
So that's why
you're right.
Get mad about it.
It's just a whole mockery. But you're right. It was kind of like similar to Batman the Animated Series because it's a lot darker.
It is. But it had a huge story plot to it. And then they canceled it. And
they just canceled it in the middle of a huge
story arc.
Yeah.
And it like left off on like this huge like. What's going to happen next? Is this going to happen? Or is this going to happen? You have no idea.
You don't know, but we're going to reboot it into a comedy, so it doesn't matter anyways.
They have hinted it that they will actually
they're going to finish it,
I seriously hope that they do.
Yeah.
And then at Comic-Con, the San Diego Comic-Con, recently, they released a trailer for a really dark take on it.
I heard about that.
Like, it's got a lot of blood, a lot of language. Like
the Titans, the live action.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That's already out.
A lot of fans off.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's not what Teen Titans is. I mean, it's supposed to be edgy because it's a bunch of teenagers.
Yeah.
But it's not supposed to be really dark.
Like that. Yeah. I heard Robin like takes a guy and he like rubs his face against the side of a street. And
yes.
I didn't watch it, but I heard about
Batman thing.
Yeah, that was the big thing.
They may reboot the cartoon though because DC needs a lot of content for their streaming service.
Yeah.
So that
would be that's a lot of like the people who end up growing up watching it it would bring them back into it. They're like, hey, I remember this.
Yeah.
And then it would also like what. We've been the kind of trend for all this. It would bring new fans into it. Yeah. So
that's true. I forgot about Teen Titans, the cartoon. That was good.
That was good. I think maybe Voltron. That's kind of what that like the Netflix show that kind of rebooted it. I'm not sure how well that would last, but I'm really digging the show. So at least for me, it'll be one of the things that I'll definitely show my family and friends power. Eventually. Yeah. The story's really good for the Netflix one. Let's see. What year did Tommy Boy come out? I can't remember.
94.
So that's in the range. Yeah. That's in the range. Definitely that. Tommy Boy.
That's one of your favorite. Okay, yeah, you're right.
A bunch of the Adam Sandler movies as well.
Okay.
Yeah, Tommy Boy, Adam Sandler movies. Those will be ones that...
The older ones that still have some appeal.
Yes. Okay. That's what my dad's been showing. He's been showing like Waterboy, Tommy... Happy Gilmore.
Billy Madison.
Yes. Oh, so good. But yeah, as far as TV shows, actually, it's mainly just been rebooting a bunch of old stuff, and it's not a lot of original things.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a bunch of books out there that I totally think will last, but I didn't actually create a list. That was one of those ideas just came up. But yeah, I think that about kind of finishes up my list. You listed off a whole bunch. So.
Yeah.
Well, cool. Well, I appreciate you guys coming out, so to speak, on your 80s nerddom. Yeah. Because your friends will be like, what are you talking about? Let's go listen to blah, blah, blah. I don't want to watch this old stuff.
Yeah.
So, because I know as parents, I know your dad's kind of the same way. He kind of enjoys showing this to kids and them getting excited about it. And then Lee Bokma does this thing, and I'll include a link in the show notes for his art. He does what's called Mings in a Movie. So Ming's is a Chinese restaurant that's in Lincoln, and he makes a deal with his kids that I'll buy Chinese food if you watch a movie that I pick out, and it's always usually 80s, 90s movie. But they get a free, get takeout, so it's kind of a treat. And he gets to watch old movies with his kids.
Yeah.
Sometimes they like it, he said, and sometimes they don't.
Yeah.
But
I wouldn't even need to be tempted with food to
for
watch
free
that.
food, that's
I was like, I'll just watch it.
Free food, so maybe we'll have to crash Lee Bachman's house when he does memes in a movie.
Yeah.
So cool. Well, thanks, guys.
Yeah.
I'll have some links in the
pleasure.
show notes, and we'll have to do this again sometime.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Oh yeah, sweet.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
That was such a good episode. I enjoyed sitting down with these two. It was fun just to hear their insights into the things that they like about our stuff and the things that they have in their generation that might stick around for the next 20 years that they'll be sharing with their kids. So again, go to covertnerd.net for all the details on this episode and other episodes that you may like. And if you do like this episode, please share it with other people. Again, thank you for listening, and until next time, nerd it up.